So, Dane, thanks for speaking to me today. I just want to get your reaction to last season because obviously it was a unique season to say the least with the pandemic, and at one point it looked like there wasn't going to be a season. So, I just want to get your take on how you felt it went and how you felt during it with the quarantine and social bubbles and how that affected.
Yeah, look, it was a very difficult season, a difficult year for a lot of people, especially, and then for us as cricketers, it was quite tough. Firstly, not knowing when the season was actually going to start, and if we were going to start, was quite hard for on the mental side of things. But then once we got it up and running, sort of sorting out the logistics of bubbles and making sure that we adhere to advice of the government and the sporting bodies was quite challenging. But I think we met that very well. We were probably one of the few counties who were very, very strict on that. So our medical team is very strict on how we go about things, even now to this day with regard to training. So it was quite tough. Then just on a team note, I think we did extremely well given the circumstances that we were faced with. We, like a few counties, had a few issues with bubbles and guys going in and out, joining up with the England squads, joining up with a bigger England squad throughout the season, obviously trying to get the international cricket. So we had a few of our key players missing, but that gave us an opportunity to bring in some of younger players. I think we gave first team caps to no less than five junior players, which was great, and they exceeded all the expectations that we put for them. So they had a great season, and I think it's going to stand them in good stead for this season and their future careers. So that was good. And then another tough one was not being able to be at our home ground, Old Trafford. Moving around quite a lot. We had a sort of pre-season or a base before the season started in Chester at Borton Hall, which was fantastic, and they really helped us along there. And then trying to shift all our games in and around different venues. I know we had two home games which were actually away. We played Leicester and Notts, which were actually supposedly our home games, but we were away. So that was difficult and such. But all in all, I think it worked, and we had to be flexible, and I think our results were good with what we had to deal with. I mean, getting to the finals day of the T20s was fantastic again, with one of the younger squads in the competition, and then I think finishing second in the 4-day competition, and narrowly missing out on a chance to go through to the Bob Willis final, which was pretty good. So we'll take that.
And you're saying about you miss playing at Emirates Old Trafford, and this season most of the games are at Old Trafford. Do you feel like that'll be like a welcome home, that you can keep all your mainly home equipment at Old Trafford so you can train there and get used to the surroundings?
Most definitely. I mean, we love being here. It's a fantastic stadium. It's one of the best stadiums in the country, if not the world. So love playing here. I think we do pretty well here as a unit. So that's great. And just to be a part of, we've got the gym here. We've got all the training facilities, the staff and the groundsmen and everyone here is just fantastic for us. And it is our home. So it's amazing to come here and be privileged to play here. So I think that will help us a huge amount. And we're looking forward to it. Hopefully we can get a lot of games, and hopefully we can play well here. Obviously dependent on what happens with international cricket. If we need to be in bubbles again, I'm sure that the ECB will use Old Trafford as a facility because it worked so well last year. So, but it's good to see that a lot of our fixtures are lined up for here.
And going now to you personally, over the last week, you've re-signed as the overseas player for the county and once again captain for the season. And I just want to get how you're feeling because of the uncertainty surrounding everything that's going on. How you feel about getting the contract finally signed?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough that the club had shown a bit of faith in me and wanted me to be around. I had an initial contract that was going for a few more years, but then obviously with Brexit and the implications that took, it made things a little bit trickier. But saying that, the club have been fantastic. They've sorted it all out. They've honoured that contract, and they said they wanted to keep me around for a little bit longer and to help out with the team. And keep going forward, which is great. So I'm really thankful for that. And it's just a bit of a word change from Colpack to overseas. So that's good. I'm glad it's all sorted now. Look, obviously 2020 was a difficult year with regards to COVID and Brexit and everything that was piled up. So at least hopefully we can move forward from all of that, and now we can just start afresh.
No problem. And then obviously the county championship last season, it was a bit rejig with the groups. It's going to be the same again this year with almost 3 groups. Does that ever play into your mind on how you go about games, or is just the same mentality, win as many games as possible and not worrying about the groups and how everything's formatted?
No, I think it's initially there was a bit of pushback on the 3 groups, and people were sort of, obviously you want to play in Division 1 or you want to, but I think how they've structured is pretty good. You get seeded into your pools and you play in the pools, and then obviously the top 2 go through, and then they go into another round of games, which is the Division 1 competition, which is great. And then you can have then you also get an added bonus of having another final to play for the Bob Willis Trophy, which is I think also very, very good. So it doesn't change much in terms of the way we play or our planning or how we're going to go about things. It's just different opposition. So that'll be good. It'll be good to hopefully get 14 full games this season and play a lot of cricket. So hopefully some good cricket.
Just looking ahead to this season, actually, what are your hopes? Are you just looking to continue the good form that you personally and the team have been in? Because as well as in 2019, led the team to the unbeaten season, promoting back to Division 1 at the first time of asking. So I just want to know how you're feeling ahead of the season. Do you want to keep the form going, just pushing on as much as you can?
Definitely. I think we're in a good space at the moment. The guys are working hard and is in challenging conditions, here in small groups and bubbles and stuff like that. So we're working really hard, and we always want to be challenging for all 3 trophies, all 3 competitions. And I think we've got a strong squad that's able to do that. Just seen the results in the past, and I think we've done really well in getting that, but we haven't won any trophies. So we just want to keep on focusing on working on that, making sure that we're playing the best cricket we can, and challenging ourselves as a team, and hopefully pushing guys to get into the next level, to get playing for England, and be regular members in that team. I know we've got sort of 2 or 3 guys who are on the fringes at the moment, who could do with putting in some good performances for us and for themselves, and then could hopefully push for high honours. So that's the main focus for us, is just to keep on improving day in, day out. And then if we do that, then the games will take care of themselves,
And obviously, going back to England now, you've got Jimmy Anston and Matty Parkinson away with the England squad in India, and Jimmy producing Jimmy stuff at the Friday of the first test. Do you feel like those types of players, when they come back in the short time with the team, can provide good insight and good motivation for those fringe players to go, I can be like them one day, like a good role model to look up to?
Absolutely. You've got Jimmy, who is at the peak of his powers. I don't think he's ever been fitter or stronger. And the determination that he's got to keep going is amazing. And you just see his results, that he just keeps on getting better and better. So it's inspiring for us as Lancashire players, to, when he comes back into the change room, to see what he does, how he goes about his game, the level that he sets and the standards that he sets for himself, so that we need to push to. And when we watch him play there in the test match, and we're very proud of how well he does, and it definitely inspires all of us, and just to play with him and hopefully play alongside him for a few more years is great. So I think that's the main job of those guys, is when they do come, they give the 100%, which they do as they're professional players, to contribute, and set a new standard for us as Lancashire players, as county players, as the guys did when they were growing up and they were coming through the ranks as well.
And then obviously, how have you been coping in lockdown? Like when you haven't been playing cricket, have you found a way to adapt, to keep up your training regime? Have you tried any new hobbies? Have you been getting creative? How have you coped personally with the last 12 months since we've been in the pandemic?
For me, it's been a strange one. Obviously, not being able to go out and about and do different things, but personally, I've had a great time with my family to reconnect with them, and as players, and especially cricket, you spend a lot of time away from family. I've got two small children and a wife at home. We live down south in London, and it's been great to be with them and reconnect. It has been challenging, obviously. Lockdown and having a young boy who wants to go out and play football and cricket all the time. And if you can't get out to parks or you can't, get out, it just tears the house up. But that's been fantastic and been really, really good, and sort of connecting with them. Started, I think everybody's joined the running club and doing 5Ks and 10Ks as much as possible. And that's part of our program, as we need to stay fit, obviously. So doing a lot of runs, and got onto Peloton bike, which is also amazing. So just keeping fit and staying healthy and trying to do that. I'm also doing a university degree, a master's in sports management, sports directorship, sorry, at the Manchester Met. So that's also keeping me really busy. So I've tried to stay as busy as possible, and I think it's a good time to do that,
Yeah, so you know what we're going through right now as a student in our final year doing our degrees. So
I know all this work and stuff as well. I'll be on the other side of the screen doing interviews as well soon as well. So I might need some tips from you how it goes.
Oh, you can always message me for some tips. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And then finally, obviously you said about the season ahead. Are you hoping to get fans back in if the government allows it? And how much do you feel the fans, especially at the outgrounds when you're not playing at Old Trafford, do you feel like you can connect more with the fans because they're a bit closer and maybe, recognise a few regular faces or get to know them better in the breaks in play?
Definitely. I think, we've missed out a huge amount this year or this last year playing, and it was very noticeable. We normally have a few regulars who follow us around and, see familiar faces at all the different grounds. Has been really tough. So to not to see them and to have the fans in there has been difficult, but I'm sure we will get back to once. I know the vaccine rollout is working pretty well, and people are hopefully taking the vaccines when they come available, which I'm sure the large majority are. So that's great. And I think by the summer, according to the plans and according to how things are going with the government, we should be almost there. So we should be having fans. Obviously, social distancing and a few things might change with regards to the number of fans that are allowed in, but I think it would be great. And then just on the outgrounds, I know we've some of our best games and have been at outgrounds because of having the people around and the fans, and having access and being close to us has been great. Obviously, it can be a bit trying at times for some if it's not going well, but when it's going really well and things are going nicely, then it's great to have them there. And I hope it continues, that we do get the support and we can get some fans in.
Yeah, and obviously the fans can make a massive difference, especially at T20 Finals Day. And how do you feel about the atmosphere at T20 Finals Day, especially at the later part when the crowd singing "Sweet Caroline"? Do you ever take a moment in the heat of the moment and just stand back and think, "Wow, I'm actually here"? Do you ever get those type of feelings where you're thinking, "I feel privileged"?
Absolutely. You get it when you're watching a game or you're leading up towards a game. Obviously, in the game you focus on the ball, but and the intensity of it. But if like I said, if things are going well, or you can step back and just sort of appreciate it for a couple of seconds here and there, and just to see. And I think it's important to take those moments in, because as players, it doesn't happen that often or frequently, and you never know when your last one is. So it's important to take those sort of small moments and those little snippets and put in the memory banks that it's something that you can enjoy at a later time.
No problems. Thanks for speaking to me today, Dane, and good luck for the rest of the season.
No worries, mate. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.